So here's a scuba tank, a steel 72, which was at one time, prior to the aluminum tanks coming out, the steel 72 was at one time the standard cylinder used in scuba worldwide. Try to buy it through a dive store. And the reason is this: the dive store, if it's been around for more than 2 or 3 days, the dive store has a reputation to preserve. And so they do not want unhappy customers. They certainly do not want a customer to buy a tank that is not a good tank, and they have a problem with it. That's just not good for business. So a dive store, generally speaking, will go out of their way to make sure the tank is good. If you buy them from a dive store, they will almost invariably be properly tested. Yes, so the tank has been hydrostatically tested. It's been visual, which means that this tank is safe to use. It'll need another visual in a year like every other scuba tank, but hydrostatic, the metal of the tank structure itself, is good to use for 5 years. So it's a good tank. Now this is an aluminum 80. This is the tank that you're familiar with. This is the tank that you've probably been using. This is the type of tank now that's most common around the world. Used all over the world: Europe, the Caribbean, the South Pacific, all of North America, of course. The standard aluminum 80 cubic foot tank, 3,000 psi. The dive store checked it, and they found that this particular aluminum tank has cracks in the neck. And the alloy that was being used, they discovered after a period of time, was not good for high pressure cylinders, and it suffered from a defect called SLC, sustained load cracking, which means very simply that if the tank was full and sat full for any period of time, it could crack. Although this tank looks really good, you put a valve and a boot on it, and somebody says, "Hey, give me $200 for this tank," you just might do that. In which case you'd be buying not only a dangerous tank, but a tank that wouldn't be filled. Because if you took it to any dive store to have a visual and a hydro done, it would fail. So you need to be a little bit careful. Answer to the question, should I buy a used tank? Yes, with care. Be sure that it has been tested, that your local dive store has looked at it, ascertained that it's a safe tank, can be filled, done the tests on it, and you're all set to go. If it hasn't been tested, or if you're getting it off a junk heap or somewhere else and you have no idea if it's good or not, be very, very careful.